and you want to raise that today, today is the day to do so. Or you may want to continue along the line of some one of the topics that we dealt with during the week. Yesterday we were talking about the Bureau of Standards, or as some people would be more familiar with, weights and measures, but of course they do much more than that, which we talked about yesterday. We also talked about this week immigration and some of the challenges with immigration, illegal immigration, talk about sham marriages, talk about people overstaying, all those things related to immigration. Earlier in the week we touched on tourism after COVID, what it would be like, what to expect, what can we do to bring us back to some semblance of normalcy in short order. We also talked about why we elect a government, and went down the list of things that people think about. An electorate that goes to the poll and think about the record of a particular party or group and elect a government, as we would say, or at the same time reject one or reject a party. So all those things we discussed this week, and you're free to join me in any of those conversations that you want to continue to raise, or it may be something new or something that you had on your mind that you want to discuss. We had a briefing yesterday from the NEOC, and that may be some topic of concern as well. They discussed the 46th case of COVID in the Federation. We were informed that it was a worker within the hotel industry, and they are at the moment working on the contact tracing. They also have been tested. A number of people have been tested, and we await the results of those tests. Those test results will determine the way forward for us. At the same time, at this point, I need to say again, let us be careful about information that we're spreading out there. And those of you receiving, be careful not to keep spreading, because every time you pass that on, you're actually spreading misinformation. There are ways to check, and there's a source. The NEOC is a source for official information. So if you get information that you have not verified, you can verify. You can put a call in to the NEOC, one of the officials there, and get an update. I think they'll be happy to talk to you or answer any question you may have. But we have this urge to forward everything we get, and then before you know it, because of how powerful social media is, before you know it, you're forwarding the same misinformation and you're giving it legs, so to speak. There's really no need for that. There's some people that is part of the agenda, but you don't have to assist them in that. Dealing in facts and official information is much more productive. So if we can stick with that, then we'll be okay. Let's keep that in mind as we go forward, and await the reports from the authorities on what's happening with respect to that. Also, there's in line with that, there's a whole lot of talk out there still about the vaccine, and talk on the vaccine itself has a whole lot of misinformation. The funny thing is that I've noticed that there's some people who are spreading the misinformation or pushing the misinformation. You would not believe it. They have been vaccinated, and that's incredible. So be careful. People have agenda. Okay. What would tourism look like after COVID? We don't know. We're hoping for good things, but there is a balancing act, as we said, between opening up and our the health and safety of the nation. There's no need to be a rush. I mean, we are concerned about the economic health of the nation as well. But really and truly, if you don't have your health, then the economics won't really matter that much with it. We are a small country, and we can't take a whole lot. If there is a outbreak in this country, real outbreak in this country of COVID-19, we are in serious trouble because of our size and capacity. We don't have much capacity for a serious outbreak in this country. And if you think that what we've been through has been bad, even though we've only had 46 cases to date with 45 recovered, if you think that was bad with all the shutdowns we had, let there be an outbreak in this country, and you will wish for those days to come back, because our health system cannot take that kind of strain, and it will be rough for this country. So just bear that in mind as you go about your business. I don't believe that it is too difficult a task to put on a mask when going into crowded areas or going into an establishment, places like that. I don't think that's too difficult to ask, but some people find that difficult. We have to stay the course a little longer, and sometimes you give up at the point where you could have made a difference. And so the vaccination is going along slowly, but people are being vaccinated. I happened to be at a clinic yesterday to get my second shot, and I have done so. I am feeling just fine from yesterday, other than feeling the spot where the needle went in. I mean, other than that, I'm fine. And within 14 days of yesterday, I can say I'm fully vaccinated, as the rule goes. But the protocols are not really that difficult to continue for a little while longer, until we get most of the people in this country vaccinated. And as I said, I'm hopeful. It is slow, but I'm hopeful. I saw people at the clinic I was at yesterday who were being vaccinated. So slowly but surely, people are getting the message and making the right decision. Some people will take longer to make the decision. That's fine. Take the time if you need to. Speak to your medical practitioner Speak to people you trust, and then make your decision. I mean, you have a right to do that. You're talking about your body. So I would hope that that is the approach that people take, as opposed to taking some of the fake news on social media and making that their guide. That's not good. It doesn't work for much of anything in life, and especially when it comes to your health and well-being. Let use some other source to guide you. I have heard people with a whole lot of concerns, and I accept them. And that's the way I operate. I accept the concerns. We're grown people. We have a brain, and things come at you, and you have some concerns. Now, if you have some concerns, speak to the people who you trust, and speak to the people who should know something about the topic, and not those who don't. Because then not really doing you a disservice if you're not getting the proper information. At the end of the day, it is that information, the proper information, that you should be using to make the decision one way or the other. All right? At the end of the day, you could decide to make a different decision than I did. But my thing is that I'm hoping that you would have come to that decision based on proper information and not misinformation. All right, so that's my take on this Friday. 465-2555 is our local number here, and 718-577-2916 is the North American number, if that is more convenient for you. What we will do is we will take a quick break, and when we come back, the lines will be open to share your thoughts on anything we had during the week, or something you may have on your mind that is completely new. We'll be right back.
Celebrating 40 years of vast economic and human resource development, the DBSKN invites you to BizFest. It's our annual business fair. Come celebrate entrepreneurship with the Federation's most important financial institution on Friday, May 28 from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m.
Yeah, I know we can make it. It's only just a phase. Once we're vaccinated, and everybody gon' be safe. Everybody gon' be safe. One kind, yeah. One people. We are roll up to roll up, yeah. 'Cause no man's alone. Do what's right, alright. 'Cause I love you, brother, my sister. And we're in this together, my sister, my brother. I don't wanna lose you. I love you too much. I think it's better for us, yeah, yeah. It's better for us, yeah. I don't wanna lose.
Open Friday. And speaking of vaccines, out of some news out of Cuba, speaking to over 1 million Cubans have received at least one jab of the COVID-19 vaccine candidate so far, mainly the Sovereign 2 and the Abdala. That's 2 of the 5 lines being developed in Cuba to demonstrate their efficacy. Phase 3 of the Sovereign 2 clinical trial kicked off, as you will remember, back in March, with a vaccination schedule of 1, 28, and 56 days. Abdala trials began subsequently with a period spanning just half of that cycle. And so the Cubans are moving along with their trials, vaccinating candidates, And so we'll still wait to see what the final report is on especially the efficacy of those Cuba vaccines. Phones are open. Let's go to the phone. Good morning. Welcome to Frank and Candid. Good morning, caller. You're live.
How are you today, sir?
I am well.
Okay, good. My topic for today is unrelated to your subject at hand, but it is something that was in the international sphere, and I don't know if you had discussed it throughout the course and duration of your episode, but it's related to the conflict in Palestine between the Israeli and the Palestinians.
Okay.
While I am not going into the geopolitics of the matter, something that struck me, and I'm coming from a more linguistic perspective. Who is the present Prime Minister of Israel? And might I ask if you're familiar with who?
I believe it's still Netanyahu, right?
Benjamin who?
It's still Netanyahu, I believe.
Oh, Netanyahu. Thanks. Because it's interesting that the word Netanyahu, and might I add, persons can inherit names from ancestry, as well as persons can adopt names along the line. We have seen persons have changed their names because they saw it fit to do so, and not necessarily from ancestry passed down through, their ancestral line of like a title. Well, may I establish that before I go on? So I'm not sure how Mr. Netanyahu became, and the name has been bestowed on him, or if it's to the family. But the word Netanyahu is an African, authentic African name of the Adangle people of today. And so here's the root. If the leaf or the branch has that sort of root, that etymology, so what are the branches and the root of that tree? So I am establishing that and our people are very passionate about the Bible and the biblical children of Israel, but we doesn't see ourselves nowhere in that equation. We are very adamant about making an argument, a claim for other peoples, but exempting themselves. So it's the leaf of a papaya tree saying, I am from that papaya tree. But what is the branch and the root of that tree? That is what I'm trying to establish. The name Netanyahu is an authentic African name. So if Mr. Netanyahu inherited the name from his family tree, and Bob Marley sang the song, some are leaves, some are branches, and he say, I and I are the root. That is why I'm trying to establish. Not only Netanyahu, but a name like Joseph. All of those have their origin in the African people who still uphold culture and linguistics, and person who study what we call philology, the study of languages, will confirm. So not only from a biblical perspective, but there are also evidence in the way the people speak, express themselves, and the way they adorn themselves in culture. Beyonce has a movie out, Black is King. And a lot of people accuse that lady for acculturation. And I beg to differ, because Beyonce has her root somewhere out there in the different aspects, the variance, the expression that she expressed in that movie. And as a result of that, that gentleman that sang the theme song for that movie did not get any proceeds from people who regurgitated songs over the years. So Beyonce sang the song and gave proceeds to his family, which was something laudable. And persons of our hue accuse that lady for acculturation. But here is it, we have different acculturations, and we don't accuse them. Beyonce was just bringing to the young youth, the young minds, that is where your roots are. Thanks for listening.
Okay, thank you. All right, back to the phones. Good morning, welcome.
Good morning, Brother Tony.
Good morning.
I deal with reality. I deal with we're from here. What happened here in this Federation of St. Kitts? And the people, go out and take your vaccine. I went, but my pressure was too high, so I could not take it. But maybe by next week also, I'm going back and see what the doctor said. Now, Tony, now everybody got a different thing of life, eh? My complaint this morning is about these young women in this Federation of St. Kitts, especially our own. Now, I get couple complaints from young men, you know, because the mother, they got children by the mother, and then they're with them. And they give the mother the money every week. But some of these mothers, every week they want to be in hair salon, taking the children, the money, gone to hair salon, go to the hair. And so, you know the thing with the COVID now, some of them ain't working. But they want to be, some of them got bills to pay. But they want to be in a hair salon every week. And a lot of complaints coming from middle-aged man and all kind of man coming and talking these things. And some of these mothers encourage in these things, some of these grandmothers. And they should stop it. I talk to two gentlemen and I tell them, they got to do work with them with the courts, work with them with the book. You understand? Because you're supposed to two children away where they got boy she. And she gonna take your money and go to into a salon and go into gambling place and all these kind of things. And these things happening rampant in this country. Not because nothing happened to one of these something will happen serious. Because some of these people who got this establishment is encouraging some of these young women too. Some of them because they don't have no children. So nothing to fall upon them when they do wicked to men. They encouraging these things. Yeah? So I can't on these young women of this federation. I mean, that's all of them. Because they got some good mother. And they got some mother who don't go, they go take advantage and use man for the money. And a lot of things going on in this federation of St. Kitts. And Tony, I call in on these young men to when you got children and you ain't with the woman anymore, work with them with a book because they're very ungrateful. You have a wonderful day, Tony. God bless.
All right. Sounds like there's an experience there somewhere. Let's go back to the phones. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Tony.
Hey, good morning, the King.
Well, I see my good friend, Mr. Licky Body Rasta, all kind of names,
Yeah.
doctor, all kind of things.
Without locks.
He was very good this morning.
Okay.
All the time, I keep telling Licky Body, the sheep from the goat, who is sabotaging the government. But this morning, he recognized it.
Okay.
He named them out all one by one. So I got to congratulate him for talking and looking to see where the problem was. So I just called to congratulate him.
Okay.
And to my good friend here, Mr. Politics, when you don't want to pay child support, go down the clinic, get some condoms.
Okay.
And when you get your condoms and so on, then you find that the woman gets pregnant, then you go to a doctor and get a test. But otherwise than that, you can't do that. You got to pay them, and you can't tell them what to do with the money. Because when other men give them money, they feed the child. Remember, they have to wait till the weekend for you, and the child then waiting in the week. So I don't know where you get the idea from. He ain't gonna children need to buy one. So you need to leave that alone. Okay. Good day, Tony.
Okay, good day. All right, back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome. Good morning, caller. You're live.
Greetings in the name of our great African ancestors, especially the most honorable Marcus Messiah, Garvey, and Queen and Zinga. Blessed them, my beloved African. But how are you, the family?
We're doing well. What about you?
I'm good, man, and the clan is good.
All right.
Now, my beloved brother, let me say blessed to Brother Africa, Brother Politics, Brother Culture, Queen Mother Henry, and the Pan-African Republic of Ethiopia, and the entire Federation of St. Kitts Nevis. Now, beloved brother, let me think on a little what Brother Africa was saying. That land that the white Jews and the Arabs is fighting over, that's African people's land, beloved. And I know that for a fact, This ain't no propaganda. This comes from the two greatest African historians of all times, Dr. Joseph Ben Yakanen, affectionately known as Dr. Ben, and Dr. John Henry Clark. Now, beloved, better Israel, as it's called, as they say Hebrew, but the original name is Better Israel, come out of Cush, that the Greeks call Ethiopia. Ethiopia is not an African name. It's a Greek name that means burn faces, people with burn faces. Proper name is Cush. So that land is African people land. And those Caucasian Jews come primarily out of Eastern Europe, Caucasian Mountain, the Caucasus Mountain, that's in Eastern Europe, on the Black Sea area, primarily Poland, Anastasia Jews, beloved. So I know when people talk about Israel, I don't subscribe to the biblical religious crap. Who want to argue, that's them. I don't subscribe to no religious book. And no religious book is no point of reference to Brother Nabu. None. Neither the Quran, the Bible, the Talmud, and the other so-called 5-6 books of Moses. So-called. Beloved brother, I don't subscribe to none of them, beloved. So, our people must get things right. I know some of them speak out of ignorance, but when you hear the truth, do you research and come to your conclusion? But like Black Stalin said, how a man who don't know his history, or a woman who don't know her history, can confirm their own philosophy? No, cannot. You got to know your great stories first, my beloved sisters and brothers. You don't go walk and talk about this and that and Bible and Jesus that who never existed. Never. But nobody in the history, mankind, womankind named Jesus. That's a fallacy. I don't care who said that. That's their problem, not mine. I speak the truth with no water in my mouth. So we got to get things right and get things right at all times, beloved brothers and sisters. We must, as a people, we can't take what other people say, because our enslavers and colonizers never will teach us the truth. Never. Like the most honorable Elijah Muhammad said, beloved, if they don't treat you right, how you expect them to teach you right? I am not a Muslim, and I will never be, beloved. But regardless of your thing, if you speak the truth and you stand for African peoples, I am with you, my beloved sister or brother. So, brother, we must speak the truth at all times and tell the truth at all times, and don't get things tangled up. Beloved, have a blessed weekend. You and the entire Federation. Talk to you on Tuesday. Because you won't be there Monday, right?
No.
Okay, so we go again. Instead of making, let me say this before I go. Instead of they making the wit Monday ain't got nothing to do with African people. That's a Caucasian religious crap again. Why you don't make African Liberation Day a national holiday instead of things that don't belong to us, man? We got to get things right. But in order to get that right, we got to elect Pan-Africanists, we got to put them themselves for electoral politics and reform the government. Not just in St. Kitts Nevis, but throughout the entire world, beloved. Beloved, thanks again for hearing me. Pan-Africanism our purpose. One love, my beloved brother.
All right, thank you. I plan to enjoy with Monday. Let's go back to the phones. Good morning.
Yeah, Tony, you're going to be quick.
Yes.
Tony, my brother Rock, right? I always confused. I come up with my mother billionaire myself after from school. I always want to work hard and to come a million years in life. You understand? To help poor people who are down there, people like in the family, people who can't help themselves. But I end up to get a girl, but a lady, right? She's a big woman right now.
I hope it's by a lady. Okay, go ahead.
She in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Yes.
And I did want to make the lady my wife, but it didn't happen that way. She was young and she went away. But I have a little boy, 10 years, in Nevis. And boy young, the mother about 31 years. And I always want to be, make myself, I'm entrepreneur to come a millionaire to help people and not go out there and get children. Because Tony, right now, you know, I come up a mouth with a bag of tamman on my head. I went to distribute potato yesterday. So I always want to work hard and help out. That's the kind of person I be, like my mother and my father. So, it ain't no matter that getting children or whatsoever. I have two. You understand? So, Brother Rock, let me know that. And I'd like help too. And I don't have plenty ladies out there with adults. So, Tony, you have a wonderful day again. And people do what you got to do to secure our country. But God bless you, brother.
Okay, thank you. All right, good morning. Welcome to Frank and Candid.
Hello.
Yes, good morning.
This is my turn now?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Yes, good morning, Tony.
Mm-hmm.
I want to touch on the France-Africa summit that took place in Paris. What I find disappointing is I was following the president of Ghana, Nana Addo. And to my surprise, I found that he has secured $170 billion loan from France. Among other African leaders, like the president of Nigeria have signed a security agreement to, have France help in fighting terrorism. I find this rather disturbing because I thought President Anna of Ghana was doing an excellent job, and to come across this type of news after the summit. Now, we have lost the president of Tanzania, John Magufuli, almost a month ago, and he left a model because he never been to the West, and he developed Tanzania without any help at all from the West. Now, the president of Ghana has made some speech pertaining to trade with the West, and now he has secured $170 billion loan from France. I find the president of France is swindling these African leaders, and it's very sad because France, in my opinion, has just solidified its grip on the continent. Now, we have to support the youths on the continent of Africa because they are the ones who's going to make the change. Clearly, the leaders, and like all African leaders globally, there's a tendency of weakness, and I don't know, some might want to say mismanagement of how they run their country. But, the youths are awakened right now, and they are demanding change, and I think we need to find ways that we can support the youths on the continent of Africa, because this thing cannot happen. It cannot continue. That they recognize their desperation right now. They recognize at an earlier clock that their success depends on our failure. We have to change that narrative, and I think right now we have to find ways of reaching these kids to support them in their quest to take over, the affairs of the continent and black people on a whole in order for us to be recognized. Thank you for taking my call.
Okay. All right. That African that summit in Paris on Africa financing is something to watch and follow up on, because again, the financing itself could be questionable in light of some of the discussions we had, and we have to be careful because a French president, for example, Macron, is pushing, trying to persuade nations to reallocate some 100 billion in IMF special drawing, special drawing rights and monetary reserves in African states. So, if you get a chance, try to follow up on what is coming or came out of that and what your thoughts are, and you see what they're trying to do. People could be rightfully skeptical because of the history, but intentions could sound good, but you always verify, right? Anyway, so okay, yeah. So 465-2555 local, 718-577-2916. It's an open Friday. Whatever is on your mind, feel free. We'll entertain. This is the day when we entertain the off-topic stuff. Let's go back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome.
Yes, I.
Yes.
One question me want to ask, right? Why, when somebody now get caught with drugs and give the money launder it, they bring them on the news. And those who got corona and AIDS virus, they keep them confidential. A question me ask you.
I don't know. I wouldn't be the right person to ask.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Let's go to the phones. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good
Nice.
morning.
How are you this morning?
I am well. How are you?
Okay, I'm confirmed. I'm blessed. As I say, I'm encouraging everybody to go out and take that vaccine. Take your first dose, your second dose, whatever, take it, please. Anyway, and on another topic now about the customs. Mm-hmm. Did anyone come and speak anything about the barrels?
Oh, I've been in contact with customs, and I'm expecting to hear back from them so that we can have them on one day next week. We're tentatively scheduled for one day next week. I hope that comes true, but I'm in contact with them.
Well, allegedly, I heard they found a person who was interfering with the barrels and taking out the stuff. That's what I don't know if it's true. That's what I heard. The person now is removed from customs. The person is doing on the street cleaning up. That's what I heard. And what they're doing now, the barrels that come in now, and when the custom officer check the barrel, what they're doing now, when they go down in the barrel, they're taping up. But what they can't get back in the barrel, they're taping it up on top, outside the cover of the barrel. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if that is true. But someone who went and got a barrel was telling me about it.
Okay.
So I don't know. So I probably have to come and clear it up. I don't know if it's true. But they found the person who was taking out the stuff from the barrels. Allegedly. I'm not sure. I'm just speaking what someone said. And the person is on the street now cleaning up. So I say, oh my God. Well, I say, well, customs, they need to come and clear up this now. They need to come and apologize to we too. Apologizing to we. Because, we work hard here and buy stuff and send that down, and then people at the customs going to the barrel and take out these things. It's not clear. And then customs asking you, where are your receipts? People buying food, nobody got for TV and household stuff, big household stuff, you're going to have a receipt. But for food stuff, because you don't buy the food once, you don't go in the supermarket and buy one time, you keep buying till you get a certain amount, then you say, okay, I'm ready to pack the barrel. That's the way we do this here. So, as I say, I'm waiting now to hear if anything going to come out of this, if they're going to come forward and say anything. But I heard they found the person who was taking out the stuff, allegedly. Thank you. You have a blessed one. Okay. Happy holidays.
All right, same to you. I can't confirm or deny any of that, but hopefully we get customs in here next week, right after the holiday. I'm expecting to hear from them and set a date for our discussion. Back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome.
Yes. Yes, the question is, I just asked a while ago. How come when people got the corona, they ain't saying to people who all have it from who all didn't have it. That's what we really want to know. You don't want to hear about no vaccine. People who don't got it, you want to know who all got it. See?
Okay. All right. We got a call here? Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. So it is Friday, and that's that means you're free to raise any topic or question you have on your mind. I may not be able to answer all, but hopefully somebody is listening. Some questions are just way above me, and they should be put to a different place. But that's okay. Sometimes those in authority, powers that be, are listening. So, but as far as those kind of issues, we're going into all kinds of privacy issues and so on, especially when it comes to health. But if you steal something, I don't know if you still have the same privacy. Phones up again. Good morning. Welcome.
Mr. Nice, I'm back briefly.
Yes.
Pertaining to France and the summit and what the Anglophone countries in the ECOWAS as opposed to the Francophone countries in the ECOWAS. My take is that the French will never forget nothing. They are very subtle. Case in point, you can see what our brothers and sisters are going through on Haiti from Napoleon's era. All of them are the same. They have a desperate philosophy. And so, what happened with the red flag that was raised when actually France wanted to morph the ECO? There was a currency that the ECOWAS came up with to have as a model. And who raised the red flag? Predominantly the Anglophone countries in ECOWAS, especially Nigeria, considering Nigeria to be the biggest economy on the continent, and Ghana with the potential of one of the 7 of the 10 nations on the continent in the world that is its economy is rising. So for France to dangle a carrot and for those presidents to bite it, that is what Mr. Macron is really laughing at them, to be honest. Mm-hmm. Because they were the one who stopped the ECO and cried foul and said, no, we cannot allow the ECO to be hijacked by the French, because we know how that arrangement is with the Francophone countries. And when Dr. Ericana Chirambawi did raise the fact that the 500 billion US that goes to France annually from those Francophone countries was not right. Some stopping has to be done, come to that. So for France to want to take over that model currency in ECOWAS, spearheaded, the alarm was spearheaded by Nigeria, because Nigeria has so much interest in holding the African economies together, because it's the biggest economy. We know that. So I just think that they bite the carrot, and it's not a good sign. Money is money, but President John Pombe Magufuli have already set the model, and there are sacrifices to be made for the youth, them to benefit 5-10 years. And there are long-term plans that we must make sacrifices for the youth, them to become of age in terms of their entrepreneurial abilities, to really grab a hold of their resources. Because you put in that money comparing to the resources of the continent, it is like nuts to cheese or chalk to cheese. But sacrifices have to be made to see the benefit in the long run. Thanks for listening.
Okay. Thank you for your input there. Caller, you live?
Yes, good day, Mr. Nice.
Good day.
Mr. Nice, recently we had a war being fought between the Palestinian and Israel. And it's amazing that from a biblical perspective, not much real attention was paid to it. And it is very important and relevant because I hold no watching brief for Israel. I thank God for Israel because in Israel you would know that there is a true and living God. Now, it's amazing, Mr. Nayes, to know that a country, a nation who were buried over 500 years, in fact 2,500 years, could all of a sudden be a nation today, a force to be reckoned with. And all because God promised Abraham that he would really be blessed with a nation. And he lived up to his word up to today. And in all this war that been fought, Mr. Nayes, it's about Jerusalem. Jerusalem, according to the Bible, would be made in Zechariah chapter 12, verse 3, would be made a burdensome stone to all nations, every man and woman. And that is what playing out in this war. Jerusalem. And it coming amidst the pandemic. And I told you the other day the world is looking for that Superman who would bring peace. Look at this 11 days war. Nobody could have, come in and make peace. So much death and destruction. And although it is a ceasefire, it's very brittle. But the deceiver is coming, the one that would deceive the nation, and he, according to the Bible, would make peace between those two people, the Palestinian and Israel. Not too far from now. And so I want to say here that Israel, according to the Bible, is the most hated nation in all the earth. I have seen it played out before our very eyes in this last war they had, where you had several demonstrations for Palestine all around the world. And really and truly, I only saw one gathering in Florida for the Jews. But what I'm saying, Mr. Nayes, it's very important, is that the Jews, Jesus came unto them and they received him not, his own. But as many as received him, he gave power to become the sons of God. And Jerusalem, Mr. Nayes, was controlled by foreigners. All these thousands of years was foreigners who controlled Jerusalem. And this is very critical until 1967, in that 6 days war, Israel captured Jerusalem. And the Bible said, once that did happen, never again Jerusalem would left the hands of the Jews. And that's why you had this war until Jesus Christ come. And so I am listening to persons, commentators, and I listen and I respect every opinion. But what is playing out before our very eyes is God's true power, his truth, his faith to a people that crucify him. And thank be to God, because they did. We as Gentiles were grafted in. We are the church today. They would not wait for the Messiah, whereas we today as a church, thank be to God, Christ would come back to take us out. So, Mr. Nayes, it's very important that Jerusalem is now in the possession of the Jews, And never again it would change hands. For all these thousands of years, it was in foreigners' hands. And 1967, in that 6 Days War, all these Arab nations came against this small little nation. And you're going to tell me that you don't believe in God? Eh? That they were able to beat off Egypt, Syria, all these countries. Huh? And today, they are there. And what is instrumental is this: all nations eventually would gather. That's what you call Armageddon. Up there, whether you want to believe it or not, up there in the same Jerusalem to fight. And they would meet Jesus Christ. They would meet him there, coming, where he would deal with them accordingly to his judgment. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Mr. Nice.
Thank you. Back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome.
Greetings. Let me step on the Bible a little bit since my brethren they just come off the Bible. You know, sir, when we read the Bible, same Bible, it said that the man who, the twin brother of Esau, remember he was a twin, you know, Esau and Jacob. And it was Jacob whose name was changed from Jacob to Israel. That's the first time that name they mentioned in the Bible, you know. So it is important that we follow closely the progenitor and the progeny of the man whose name was called Israel. I say no more. The vaccine. We did done hear people say that they're in the back of the line, right? Mm-hmm. Concerning the vaccine. All right? Let's fast forward. We hear the CMO say that people are secretly taking the vaccine. Although they say they're not taking it, they're secretly taking it because they want to protect themselves. Mm-hmm. Right? So, we say no. You see them who say they're in the back of the line, because they're still in the line, even if it's back, them who step up and go take the vaccine. And you see them who secretly get the vaccine, the number that will increase. Okay. And go and take the vaccine. And make the people them reach them number where they want to reach. Give thanks for listening to us.
All right, give thanks. All right, let's go back to the phones. Good morning. Good morning, caller, your life. Okay. Hello?
Yes, Brother Naya.
Yes, sir.
But when I hear people talking out of ignorance, I mean, everyone is entitled to his or her own opinion. But you see, the same thing I was talking about the Bible. My good brother, former police officer, probably you know who I am, but I know who he is, brother. He's a good man, you know, a good brother. But, let me tell you, beloved, I have no love for the Arabs. Gaddafi was a good man. And he helped Africa and Africans. That's why they take him out. But I will never forgive nor forget the Arabs/Muslims, first enslavers of African people. And I will never forgive them or forget them for that. But we come to Israel now, my brother. All that money that Israel get, go and check it out. Our tax money here in the United States, our tax dollars, billions and billions and billions of dollars. I swear maybe up to about 50 to 100 billion dollars they get a year as grant free money. That ain't got nothing to do with the military assistance that they get in billions and billions and billions of dollars. And then billions more in all kind of other things, beloved. Weapons, this, that for agriculture. So if you're getting money free, not loans, grants, you can develop you can even develop a place that is all rocks over the years. So my beloved brother, former police officer, that's where Israel get their power from. from taxpayers' money in the United States. And they get money from Germany, from what Hitler and them had. And everybody know Hitler was a Jew too, Caucasian Jew. But that's for another time. They get monies. So they have monies. Israel is not a big place. It's not a large place. So they could develop anything they want. Israel is an apartheid state. Let me repeat that. Israel is an apartheid state. Them are the same people. And the apartheid in South Africa, Southern Africa, the Republic of South Africa, Israel is the one who developed alongside the apartheid regime nuclear weapons. As soon as the ANC take over, all of those nuclear weapons went back to Israel, my brother. So, brother, if you don't know, do your research, man. Don't come from this biblical crap and talk nonsense. And it could not be those Caucasians, never in a billion years. That is a total lie, my beloved brother. You believe in Bible, that's your right. You want to believe in nonsense, that's your right. But when you come in and the world is hearing you, don't talk things that you don't know, my beloved brother. You know, so we got to get things right and tell the truth at all times. Brother, that's all I have to say for now. Pan-Africanism or perish. One love, my beloved brother.
All right. Final call. Go ahead, caller. You're live.
Just like the name change from Israel, from Jacob to Israel. When did Abraham the Ewe became Abraham the Hebrew? Who are the Ewes today? Go in West Africa and see who the Ewe. When did Abraham the Ewe change to Abraham the Hebrew? Double translation. Thanks for listening.
All right, and that's going to do it for this week, this day. Thank you all for your comments, your suggestions, your questions. And we'll be back here next week. On Tuesday, that is, because Monday is a holiday. With Monday, go out and enjoy yourself and observe all the protocols. Stay safe. And we'll have you back for the next edition of Frank and Candid, if it is to be, on Tuesday at the same time. I'm Tony Nass. Enjoy your weekend.
Citizen Radio, entertaining the nation, enjoyed by the world.
Shipping your cargo shouldn't be a hassle. It can be as easy as a single call to Amerijet International, your worldwide cargo transportation solution. We provide all the services you need to ship your goods anywhere in the world. Whether your shipment is fresh, frozen, large or small, alive or hazardous, you can count on Amerijet to deliver it safe and sound. Amerijet International, by land, sea or air, we get it there. For more information, visit us on the web at www.amerijet.com or call us at KDP Enterprises 466-9595.
Refresh and win $10,000 cash with Coca-Cola. Yes, you could be the lucky winner of $10,000 cash when you enjoy a 591 ml Coca-Cola Original Taste or 591 ml Sprite. Look under the special yellow cap to find your unique code and text to 767-0619 or enter via the web portal lnq.in/Coca-Cola. KN to win weekly cash prizes, grocery vouchers, meal vouchers, mobile credits, free Coca-Cola, or the grand prize of $10,000 cash. Refresh and enter as often as you like. Coca-Cola. open for better. Terms and conditions apply. See press and in stores for details. Please follow all COVID-19 protocols when redeeming prizes.
These are this afternoon's top stories. 20 persons identified as close contacts to the new COVID-19 case are in isolation. Bahamas draft legislation outlines cannabis industry, and fully vaccinated Americans may need a COVID-19 booster shot by the fall. Hello and welcome to the ZIZ Midday Newscast. Today's Friday, the 21st of May, 2021. I'm Jason Davis. Nationally, Chief Medical Officer Dr. Hazel Laws says the 20 persons identified as close contacts with the new COVID-19 case are in isolation. Dr. Laws was speaking during the National Emergency Operations Center COVID-19 briefing on Thursday. She explained that contact tracing involves identifying, assessing, and managing people who may have been exposed to COVID-19 to prevent onward transmission. She's also said a contact person is a person who has had direct physical contact with the individual who was diagnosed with COVID-19.
When this process is systematically applied, the hope and the